Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Partwork Podcast with our guest tonight, who is Ian, more recognisable for Partwork upgrades. And obviously, there's Mark as well in the background there. So thanks for coming on, Ian, and having a chat with us tonight about, well, everything really, anything you want. I think we have to sort of start where it sort of finished, if you know what I mean. So what decisions were made for you to stop doing Partwork upgrades?
Yeah, so this was sort of late-ish, sort of Q4 of last year. I guess we kind of got to a point where we were processing so many orders, we wanted to take a step back.
Yeah.
I had some, had an opportunity to change my lifestyle a bit in terms of what I did and how much effort I put in. Because I mean, people probably know I also still have a day job. I'm a payroll consultant during the day, so it's all my evenings and weekends. Everything's taken up, and obviously Julie then stepped in after a while with the embroidery and that kind of thing. And it kind of just kept going and going and going. So I just said, right, that's enough. I need to cut back. So we started to end some of the items sort of late last year. So Julie was out the scene we did her kind of bits first, said that's it, no more, assembly cushions, that kind of thing. So she could crack on with other things. One good thing that's come out of that is obviously the big embroidery machine we had. Now Esther's got that. Over at World at Wayne, so she's now happily using that embroidery machine for her own thing, and so that's good. So then this year it was kind of winding everything up, early part of this year, and I was looking around, I was thinking it'd be a shame, although I'm ready just to not do such a big thing with Partwork upgrades, and I wanted to do other things. It'd be nice to build the models. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes overflowing in our back room, where even now I've not doing as much, I've still not got the time to get to them, because as I was mentioning, we're looking to sell the house and things like that. So we're changing a bit, that we want to move on in life, we want to do other things, want to go traveling, all those kind of things. So and to do that, something had to give. So that was the idea, but then when it came to it, we shut it off for a while. I'm sitting there thinking, I hadn't quite finished. There's one bit of unfinished business which Mark sort of raised with me some time back, and that was it was around the power mod, and how would people power a mod if they went to an exhibition and they were in the middle of the floor, no sockets around them. So I thought, okay, let's just do that. Let's just offer that, and obviously that's what I did. So kept me foot in it, still in that sense. Everything else, I was still looking and thinking, it would be a shame, all these products, all these files, everything that's been built up, just to go to waste, really. So, and as we know, Horlicks, I went to see Horlicks. It was just last month, I think it would have been, and I spoke to him again about, would he be willing to take on some of these things, and I managed to persuade him into doing it, and he's doing a great job of it. So these things, as he's picking things up, are gradually coming back in. So that's really what it is. It's kind of personal circumstance that down, change of direction. Just keep my finger in there a little bit. You want a sort of like you were saying, it's probably getting a bit too much, and it's like, you probably sort of stood back and went, what are we doing here? What's going on here? It was really good when it started, and it all from that little stow gun.
We were talking about this not long ago, actually, me and Mark. It all started back with the old Ghostbusters, because the Proton pack came out, but you couldn't put the gun on it. It had no holster.
And the thing is, it was just I guess, luck in the way that there was, at that point, it was so early on in the build, we did not know if something was going to come along later in the build that sorted that bit out, but it never did. So as it turns out, it was a good little mod to have clipped to the side of the proton pack and store the wand. So
yeah, definitely, because
yeah,
otherwise
that's where it all
there was
started.
no way of putting it on. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it was a flapping about. And
So
yeah,
it
so
was that followed by a load of Terminator stuff.
yeah, like I say, it was like that little seed. Then you were like, oh, okay, I can do a bit more here. And the Terminator came along, and it sort of just grew. I think Power Mods was one of the main things that you done that was really big, because you did lots of other mods, but I always remember the Power Mod. Everyone always going on, you know, the Power Mod is the thing to get.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So we covered probably about 30 builds, I think, with the Power Mods. Where now the Power Mod we've got covers 99%, covers pretty much everything. So it's one.
Yeah, because you personalised all the Power Mods, didn't you, to each build?
Yeah, so I set the voltage, the output voltage, to make sure that if you plug it in, you weren't going to blow anything up. You know, it was designed for that build, and you were safe to obviously get on and use it.
That's another thing, actually. That's a perfect thing. Do all the builds actually, that was we're talking about that, do all the builds actually have the same power output?
No.
Okay.
So the builds, it depends. If you turn the build upside down, look at the battery compartment, some take just a couple of AAAs or AA's, so they're like 3 volt output.
Yeah.
So, and then some have got 6 and some have got 8, and so they're all different. And then you've got to think the configuration of the batteries in there. Are they just, if there's 8, is it 4 and 4 to give it a boost in power? So the way we kind of looked at it is we had to try them. You know, people in the community would help us. We'll say, look, you're building this, can you? And I'd used Wayne quite a bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's building everything, so he was a safe. So, you know, can you tell us? Can you confirm what is that build expecting? And then within our Power Mod, we'd have a buck converter, and the relevant. If it was something like the Spitfire needed a bit more oomph, we would give it, rather than a 1 amp, we'll give it a couple of amps plug, and set the output voltage to 4.5 volts, whatever it was. And you know, and the good thing about it, from the mains, it was a constant stream of power. It wasn't, nothing was going to go flat or anything like that. And
well, I found that out with a lot of the power that you've done, the Power Mods things, is that especially with the Terminator, going back to that, actually, I remember when I first finished the Terminator, and I couldn't get the eyes or the jaw to work. The lights worked in the eyes, but I couldn't get anything to move. And I just thought that something had come loose or something like that. As soon as I stuck the Power Mod in it, it worked perfectly. Yeah. And it still works perfectly to this day. And it just amazes me that there's, even with the standard batteries that you put in it, even if you use the, you know, decent ones, Duracell, whatever, Energizer, it still isn't enough really to power the actual thing. And that you need that constant energy flow through it for it to actually work properly. It's almost like it's been designed for that purpose, but they've given you batteries instead.
Yeah. So, I think, did they not with the Spitfire? I mean, did they not add later on in that build, add another battery bank to double up? Yeah, because the one that was there on its own just wasn't sufficient. People were getting problems with it sort of lifting up on, you know, on those lifters, cranking it up and things like that. So so when they did that, we knew what we would do is just, you know, give a bigger amperage on, a bigger boost to it at the same output voltage, and that killed all the problems. And then the TX100, that was funny, because I think that was the first Power Mod where it's kind of unique, where we've got 2 outputs, one going to the base, one the head on that one. So it was 6 volt for the base, I think 4.5 volts for the head, something like that.
The base took, I think it took, do you know what, I can't even remember that, but I think it took C batteries, the base on it, and obviously the head took 2 AA's. And it just it never, obviously it drew power. The base always worked better than the head, but as soon as I've done the Power Mod in it, it's worked seamlessly. Absolutely. The only thing that's a letdown on that is the remote, but obviously Howlett's come up with
constantly draining its battery, wasn't it? So on the base, I never used the base. I didn't bother, because I went through a phase where whilst it was being built, you could buy a stand and put it on the stand and build it while it was on the stand. But I've got a hook up on the wall above me where it just sits on the hook on the wall in front of me. So I never bothered with a base, and I think I just gave that away. I can't remember who to, but
it's got two sort of screw bolts on the back, which puts it onto the base. Actually, if you just put two hooks in anywhere, you mount it anywhere really on those two plate bits on the two screws there. Yeah. So that's going back some years. That's
well, it was
2019, 2018.
It's 5 years this month since we started.
Wow.
So I think it was on the 3rd of September we set up, we registered with the Company's House for Partwork Upgrades Limited. We never actually traded under Partwork Upgrades Limited. We traded as a private, trader, self-employed trader. So we kind of let the name go recently because we thought it's not worth keep paying an accountant to put, dormant figures through each year and things like that. So if anyone else wants that name now, they can go and get it.
Hopefully no one does, because obviously Horlicks is still using that. Is that so what is the process with you and Horlicks? Are you still designing stuff, or is it all Horlicks now, or is it like a shared partnership between yourself and him, or what?
No, I mean Horlicks is using my e-commerce platform. So he's sharing that with me. So I'm hosting him at the moment. That's why he's got, when you go onto partworkupgrades.com / it's Horlicks. So he's got his own sub page off of that. He's got access into that where he can go and see his own, because it's the one e-commerce platform. He can go and look at his own invoices. He will then print them off, deal with them, do his postage. So he's doing really well. He's really just getting on with that. And I go in now and again, look at the orders, check, see if there's anything that I need to process, and I can see pretty much instantly he's picking them up, dealing with them, getting them ready, packaging, and then archiving them off in the system. So he's all on his own with that. Yes, I am supporting, because I must admit I quite like doing the odd design of some stuff. So I'm helping him out, because one of the things that I said to him, one of the things that we got to remember, you've got to keep things current. I mean, you may have some builds that are coming back in, or some that people are still not completed. So we could keep some of those mods, props, etc. on the screen for people to get. But we've got to keep it current. So you've got to think about, what can we do for the Dalek? He's done a few now, and obviously supported him for the 66 Batmobile. We're looking at other ones. So it's keeping it current. So it's relevant to what people are building. So I will continue that. I'll continue that. At some point, Alex will migrate off onto his own e-commerce system. And then he'll just 100% go it alone. So I'm just supporting. But he deals
have you
with
showed
all
him the design? Have you showed him how to design stuff yet, and all that sort of stuff? How you go about that?
Yeah, that's still to be done. I'm still. Right. I mean, I'm a big fan of Tinkercad. People will probably, oh no, not Tinkercad. There's so much better editors and things out there. There is, but when you get to know Tinkercad, it's very basic, but you can get the job done. Probably not quite as quick as some of the other, pieces of software you can get. So at the moment, I've said to him, I do need to sit down with you and spend time and take you through Tinkercad, show you some of the basics, so you can start looking at some of these things yourself. So that is kind of work in progress. But
I'm sure he would do quite well on that, because I mean, he done we spoke to him on this show, and he said that he didn't really know anything about Partworks and stuff like that, and he started doing them. And then when he done the bus mod for the power mod and the app, he didn't know how to do any of that. He sort of self-taught himself how to do all of that with the programming of the boards, how you do the app. So he's obviously, clicking. It's obviously clicking, and
he's very talented. He's one of those that he can put his mind to anything. Given the time to sit there and study it, as you say, with the Bluetooth, because he did it for the Rossi bike as well. And the Route Master. Given time, he will master it fairly quickly and produce something really good. So I think as soon as, you know, he knows everything. I've been through everything with him regarding sort of the listings and selling his products and all those kind of things. I put, when I do an email campaign, I do one once a month. I will showcase his stuff on that with my power, that sort of thing. So he gets some publicity off that once a month. It's just the designing now, I think, of things, taking it. Probably I might start something and they say, right, over to you. Here's the file so far. You do these bits and
you finish it off, sort of thing.
Join that exercise and then fully hand it over. Until he's comfortable, I've got no problem with that. I'm more than happy to support.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, also keeping on with the Partworks thing, is when it comes to Partworks, is there something that you like over other stuff, or is it just like when we had Will on the show and he sees something he likes and he just gets it? He doesn't, you know, even if he doesn't sort of follow the genre, but he likes to build. Is that what it's like with you when it comes to being Partworks, or are you more to your cars or your bikes and stuff like that, or is it simply like that? Oh, I like the look of that, I'm going to have it.
I think it's more, I like to go for some of the classic things, the movie things like the Terminator. I can't do boats. I can't do submarines. They just don't do it for me. I'll be a bit like Wayne. I'd be having a burning in the garden if I was doing a boat or something like that, you know. It'd have to be called Enterprise, because it would be flying through a window if it was a boat. So, you know, I think cars, I mean, the Rossi bike was great. Aeroplanes, I never got to finish the MiG because
it's got a bit of a sour taste. That
has. And as I say, there's things I still want to build, and because I've now kind of come away from that, I'm still obviously actively involved with YouTubes and things like that. I've still not had time to build what I've got, and Julie's put a foot down. You're not getting any more until you've done them. So, but I have ordered and I managed to get around her and ordered the Orca. So that I look forward to. I know that's a boat, but that for me, because it's related to Jaws, that'll do it for me. I'm not keen on the Fast and the Furious kind of things. Mad Max kind of stuff. So I think
there has to be some sort of give, doesn't there, really? I mean, we all can't build everything that we want.
That'd be nice.
But there has to be some. There has to be some point. Me and Mark have discussed this many times. But there has to be some point where you go, I literally can't do anymore. I've either run out of space or I just can't do anymore. Because there's so much out at the moment. The market is, I would say, flooded, because it is just overkill at the minute. But is there anything that's you've seen either tested or previewed that you're interested in getting in future down the line?
I think at the moment I need to concentrate on the ones I've got, getting them done, getting them built. By that point, who knows what's going to be out there to build? I don't know. I'm just conscious that we're going through that transition.
It's a bit of an unknown sort of thing.
We need to downsize. We need to decorate. I can't focus too much time on the Partwork stuff. Because I need to do all that. And until such time, I think we've got that till we into 2026, and we've got that moving. Then I can start thinking about those boxes. I went to Silverstone Museum yesterday with Ed, Wayne, and my son, and I was saying to them that what was it? I was going to say to do with another. I was saying, having a joke about yourself and Mark, saying I may have to get in touch with them and have another auction, but this time full builds, because if I never get round to doing them, they're no good just sitting in the boxes. Someone
that's true.
And do them, just have them at sort of 50% of what the price is, and take them away and build it. So that may even happen. I don't know. But,
I mean, I suppose you're like you're saying, you want to get the house sorted, and then you don't know where you're going to go after, so you want to be a bit cautious about what you're doing, just in case, you know.
And I think I'm probably going through a bit of a midlife crisis, because I've been out and bought a little bit of a sporty number car, and I'm thinking of upgrading that to something even more sporty. So take it around the track.
I'm a believer in you're only here once. There's certain things that I take to things. So you're only here once. You can't take it with you when you're gone. You spend it now. So that's what my attitude is. So, you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, don't you save on?" I do a little bit, but not really, because you know, you can't take it with you. so live it as it is.
We want to often. Yeah, we want to enjoy some holidays. We want to get some time back for us, rather than. I mean, to tell you that, you know, I would finish at 5 o'clock on my day job, and I would be 10:30 at night by the time I finished doing anything to do with Partworks. This is Monday. Yeah. This is every day of the week. Then, you know, and then you're working all day Saturday, Sunday on that, and then you've got your day job. It does wear you out. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah. Learned so much. You know, I met so many great people. But there comes a time you think you can't sustain that. No, we've got to think about the kids are now older. They're offhand. They've gone their ways. We got to start thinking about what we want to do, and that's why we came to that decision. And I've still got all those boxes upstairs that, as I say, I still haven't got time to do them. So I think looking at what's coming out, if anything comes out, or what's available now, it might tick the boxes, but what's the point? Because it's not going to get full.
I'm totally there with you. I mean, me and Kirsty's done a lot this year that we haven't done previously, because obviously our oldest is still here, so she's looking after. She looks after. She's quite happy looking after our youngest. So that means that we can go out and do stuff together, which we haven't done since we first got together. So sort of 20 odd years ago. So it's been really nice this summer. That's why a lot of the stuff on my channel has been really erratic, because we've been off doing stuff, just me and her, and it's been absolutely lovely. And I don't want to say it, but I think the Partwork stuff has been second in what I'm doing, sort of thing. I've just been enjoying. I've been enjoying the sun. That's what I've been doing. It's absolutely been a cracking summer, and I've been able to get out quite a lot. So I'm 100% with you there, Ian, on all of that. So you should always. I've always said this is your hobby, right? You want to keep it. You know what I mean? It's a bit like when they say, I always take it, and I've said it many times as well. You know, I always look at Partworks a bit like the gambling thing, where it says, once the fun stops, stop. And I don't want it to get to a point where I'm like that, where I'm just thinking, I'm going through the motions, sort of thing. I want this to, I don't want to get to that point. So it's quite good to step away for a little bit and then come back. But I totally get that. Totally get that. You just want to just separate. It's separating it. It's separating. That's that, and this is more important. You know.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've enjoyed kind of finishing my day job at 5 o'clock and then thinking, what am I going to do now? It's been nice.
Well,
don't get me wrong. I still like the Partwork stuff. I'm 100% involved, and still love chatting to people, meeting people, helping people, and I'll still continue to do that. But at least it's not in that mad capacity of
like that.
Mile an hour.
I love doing what I'm doing, and I love the fact that I'm not doing everything, and that I'm doing what I like, and it's at my pace. And I still love coming in here every week and doing a few bits here and there. There is times where I haven't got anything to do Partwork wise, and I'm a bit lost. But apart from that, I mean, you saying you finish at 5 o'clock and you're like, oh, what do I do now, sort of thing. I mean, my dad's recently retired a couple of years ago, and he's so busy. And he goes, he said to me the other week, he goes, I don't know how I actually fitted work in.
Yeah.
I was like, really? He goes, I just, because we know other people that retired because we both work for Royal Mail, so we've both done that before. So we know a lot of people that have retired and it's gone bad. And then one of the things that they were saying to my dad was to keep active. Whatever you do, make sure you're doing stuff. And he has done, so fair play to him. But yeah, I totally get that sort of work-based, sort of work-based life and fitting everything else into it as well.
Balance, it's the balance.
Yeah, so, it's all about balance.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes,
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Like I said, you have for a hobby, you have to enjoy it.
Yeah,
yeah. They do say though, if you find a job that you love, you never work a day in your life. Yeah. So there is that to it, but then there's also, I know some people that have done the job that they like, or have done this sort of thing for a job, and then gone, and then have hated it. I've gone, I really detest this. I should have never done it.
The biggest thing, and Drew and I spoke about this a number of years ago, the biggest thing we regret was not bumping into Wayne's channel 5 years sooner or earlier in life and doing this sooner, rather than it kind of at our time of life. I'm not old. But I would have liked to have been. It'd be nice to have been 10 years younger when I'd started doing it, and probably gone a bit further with it. What we have done, as I say, it's been a blast. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how long you've been following Wayne, but I remember watching Wayne in the bedroom. We were talking about this, weren't we, Mark, recently? And he had all the Star Wars figures behind him.
That's right.
And was it the fish tank? Was it?
Yeah, he had a fish tank.
Yeah, the fish tank. That's how far back we go. We've seen all the changes that happened.
I didn't even know Partwork kind of thing really existed, because I mean, back then I was doing my day job. The kids were younger, so there was more attention needed for all of them. I can't even remember now. I was just looking around on YouTube, and I just stumbled across it, and bing, I was hooked. And Wayne is such a great presenter. He's just got that gift of presenting. And I just carried on watching for a while, and it's back when early days of so I was watching him before the Ecto one was some kind of release. And that's when I came up. I only had a little ANET A8 filament printer. It was the smallest little thing, and I just started designing Tinkercad, and I thought, I can't leave this one just flopping around on this Proton pack. And I came up with that clip, and I just happened to mention it to Wayne. I sent it to him, and he just shown it on his channel, and that was it. Everyone says, I want that, and I got so many people email and say, I want that. I thought I better get something set up so they could order that. That was the start of it. And it's probably been our biggest seller, and it's still available. If people still can't get that wand to stick with that pack, go onto the channel, go onto Horlicks and grab yourself.
Yeah, you might.
It's one of the cheapest mods or things you're ever going to.
I mean, you might get. It's just started back up in France. So, and I mean, I don't know if anyone over there is doing it, but there's some.
I heard
customer base there.
Yeah, so there may be some scope for Horlicks to think about, because what I didn't do, I never, when I just hid all the listings when I took things off. I've not actually removed the listings from.
Removed them,
So if Horlicks wants to take them on and reintroduce things, like this sticker alignment, the sticker gate. Remember sticker gate and things like that. If he wants to start putting those products back on, he just has to say showing this product and on the online form, and they'll be there. But I'll leave that to him. He's in full control.
You've sort of So sort of where is there anything that we don't know about Ian? Sort of like what you like and what you get up to and stuff like that. Is there anything what you've done in life? Because I mean, I'm a bit like when Will was on. He said he's a bit like an open book, and I am too. But I've had so many jobs. I've mentioned it on here. I used to make bricks, and I used to DJ years ago in my young days. I used to DJ. Yeah. So there's all these sort of things that I did when I was younger.
I give you a brief rundown, I guess, of what I've done in life and how it kind of steered that way. For those people old enough to remember the Commodore VIC-20,
yes,
my parents bought me one when they first came out, like 1982, something like that, and that's where I initially got hooked on computers. I was never one of these people that went and bought games. I don't think I've ever really bought and played a computer game. I just got into the coding, and I used to program them. I was like 12 or 13. I was writing games and things, and that kind of then led. I just carried on doing that. I had a few things published back then. Your code was published in a magazine as is code, and you would then type it in from the magazine. Right. Like the weekly things. I had a couple of things published in them right back in the day. I went on to become a computer operator for the local council. So I did that for a few years and then went to freelance programming. So it's always kind of been the computer programming kind of side of things. I got, then after that, I kind of stumbled into the consultancy arena. I've been doing the consultancy now for 35 years, something around about that. 23 years now for the same employer. So that's kind of what's been happening as a solid career path. But above that, with like obviously the past 5 years, Partwork upgrades. Before that, I was involved with writing apps for mobile phones, and I worked as a freelance for the company that does the pass your test, the hash #1 download pass your test on Apple. So that's one I keep saying, that module and that bit of that module in that code people use is I wrote that probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and I've just been dabbling with things like that. One of the things,
do you still do stuff like that? Do you still dabble like that?
I packed up I used to write, games for the Android and the Apple kind of systems, and I'd put them on. They would be on your Google or your App Store or whatever for you to download and use. But I stopped all that when I started Partworks. I said to my mate, I said, I've been doing this a long time now. I said I could just keep tapping away at keyboard happily, in the evenings, but I wanted to do something different. So at the point I kind of got hooked with the 3D printing and watching Wayne, everything. I said something's got to stop.
Got to give.
So, but I think going right back to the early 90s. I was working at consultancy at a power station up in Harrogate, and it was a long-term contract. And I met a good friend there, and we decided back then you didn't have internet as we know it now. It was bulletin boards. You'd use a slow dial-up modem, go onto a bulletin board, and you'll get your packet, your email packet, download it back to your computer and read your emails and upload them. I mean, it was all such a convoluted method of doing things when you look at it now. But I used that scheme, that movement of messages through bulletin boards to allow people around the world to play online graphical games. So I wrote a graphical interface, which read these email packets, translated the content into an on-screen progress of like chess or something like that.
Brilliant.
Around the world, and it had really been done, and we got interviewed on a couple of the BBC radio stations because of it. We didn't. I mean, right back then, Visual Basic had just started coming and kicking into play. My mate, he decided he wanted. I didn't want to carry it on. There's no money in it because it was all shareware and So, but it was great to have that acknowledgement by the media that you've done something like this, and it pulled people from different parts of the world, and you could upload an image of yourself, and you'd show your image next to the gameplay. You fill it out, you do your move, say send, and that would generate an email packet that then you'd upload, to the bulletin board. And it went. So yeah, that's kind of how my life's been. A bit geeky with programming and stuff, but I've enjoyed it. Yeah,
it sounds really cool. I mean, I Yes. Well, I didn't know that.
No, well, that's something you know.
Yeah.
No one would know. And in my pastime now, I mean, when I finish what I need to do, I play online snooker. And you know, if anyone wants to come on and play, it's called funkysnooker.com.
Oh right, okay.
It's not as good as it was, you know, 10 years ago. It's not a 3D, it's 2D, but it's a good laugh, you know.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of people are going back to those old 2D games anyway. They're sort of
my username's Saxon, so you'll see me on there. Used to be called Stormforce, but now I'm Saxon. Been a virtuoso player for a while, and in and out of the different kind of skill levels. Getting older, my skill isn't quite as good, but again, that's just to de-wind, you know, just to at the end of the day.
Yeah, you all need something like that. So, I think that's why a lot of us play games on our phones.
Yeah.
You know, on our consoles and that. It's just to de-stress. It really is. It's just a escape, isn't it? It's an escape for a few minutes.
Julie plays games on the big TV.
Yeah.
Often I'll come out my office when I'm working through the day, and she's there, ding ding ding, you know, on a game or something she's playing. And then in the evening we'll sit down and watch some episodes of probably Young Sheldon, or we'll start watching again the Big Bang Theory, because that's such a scream, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, let's say the kids are old enough now. One's gone. Faye, she's given me 3 beautiful grandchildren.
Yeah.
So yeah, I say, when you think about it like that, and you think, oh crikey, you are getting on a bit, you know.
You're only as old as how you feel, Ian.
That's true. So
that's what they say, but then I feel quite old sometimes.
And then
especially in the winter.
Yeah, and I've got Robert. He's a mechanic. He works for Toyota. I'm really proud of what he's doing.
I used to be a mechanic years and years ago. Yeah, a couple. Actually, before I joined Royal Mail, I was a mechanic for about 5 years for Renault Citroën.
Yeah.
Master mechanic. I think that's what they used to call them. Used to do MOT testing, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the job came up at Royal Mail, and it was weak because obviously where I've always worked, where I've always been paid monthly.
Yeah.
And then a job came up. You know, Dad and brother worked there. Brother said, "Oh, there's a job going," and it was, you know, we're going back to 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you're getting paid weekly, and it was like it was silly to turn it down. Let's put it that way. And I've been there ever since. So yeah, seen many changes. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I don't recall ever having a job where I was done weekly. I know it was the in thing.
Yeah,
certainly around this area, it was heavily into the shoe trade back in the 70s, early 80s. So people were paid weekly. Everyone had to have the July fortnight off, because everything shut down. You know, it's those sort of days. But I say Robert's doing really well. He's just turned 21. He's got himself really into golf, which is great. Things could have turned out so differently for someone of that age, but he's got a great job. He's into golf. He goes off to the golf range or the course a few times a week with his mate and things like that. So he's doing really well. I'm really proud.
Yeah. So perfect. That's what you want.
Yeah.
You know, whatever they do, you sort of just hope for the best. But but it doesn't matter. I'm proud of whatever the girls do and whatever they do in life. I'm always going to be here for them. So whatever they want, you know, just like my dad and my mum are with me. So you know, it's just funny how all these sort of jobs come up, because I was back in the early 2000s, I was a bit of a tearaway. So
never.
I was what they used to call binge drinkers. So I used to work during the week. And I worked for a company called Deco. I don't know if you know it. They supply they supply Robert Dyers. Actually, they supply all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And on a Friday, it was a Monday to Friday job, and on a Friday it was half day, and it was really bad because we all used to finish about 2:00 and then straight into the pub.
Yeah.
And we didn't used to come out until it was dark. And then and then I just didn't really stop drinking. Really bad. I didn't really stop drinking until the Sunday, really, because we used to just go out on Friday, put a couple of bets on, go and watch the footy, go and get dressed, back out again. That was what the weekend was. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
But you don't really know what's going on. But yeah,
my uncle. He used to be a refuge collector.
Yeah.
And this is going back quite some years. Again, he was paid weekly, and he would get his pay check on the Friday lunchtime. He'd go straight into the nearest bank to cash it in, and then straight to the pub. But at the end of the Friday night, he'd probably spent most of his wages on booze. And his mates, I must admit, used to take the pay a bit by, you're around again kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
But I remember my auntie would absolutely give him a right, kicking, not physically, but a right mouthful, because he'd turn up home absolutely cut and hardly any money left, and he'd only just been paid. So.
Oh no, I weren't that bad, but back in that time, I moved out when I was 18, and I was privately renting. This was back in the days where you could privately rent a 1-bedroom flat for £400 a month.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing, and it was just great times.
Those were the days.
Yeah, they were the days. Yeah, they were. I always say great music, great friends, great cars. We had all the best cars back then as well. I remember going to lots of car meets. This is me and Kirsty because me and Kirsty knew each other about 4 years before we got together, and it was through sort of car meets because we always used to go to the car cruises all the time. Okay. These were the times where you'd go to like on a Saturday night at like 9 o'clock. You'd go to a Tesco's or a Sainsbury's, and there'd be loads of these done up cars, music going, and so that was early 2000s.
Did you ever get arrested? Because they clamp down on that a lot now, don't they?
They really do. They did to a extent a sort of thing back then. They sort of did, but I think the car culture has changed so much because you used to go out and there'd be people who your car you wanted to get was a Vauxhall Nova, Ford Fiesta, or like a Renault Clio because they were all cheap, but and they were cheap to do up, and everyone would put your subs in them, amps. You'd have lights all on them, and it was just
lighting around it, and all.
You'd have all the neons around it, and the reason they done it, one, because it was the car to have sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was just because it was sort of cheap, so it was really cheap to do them up over the bigger cars. But most weekends you could go. I mean, you're going back to the 90s now, but most weekends you could go to any sort of Sainsbury's and there'd be a car cruise there.
Yeah.
And there'd be loads of all done up like they were on Fast and Furious, all done up in their special things, all music blaring, and it was just showing off. It wasn't sort of like nasty, it wasn't bad. It was just lads just showing off their motors and that.
Yeah.
But it's all sort of died off now. None of that stuff exists. You used to have specialist shops as well, tuner shops that you could go to and buy the speakers from, and the subs and the skirts and like the sort of bonnets and all that and the spoilers and stuff. But there's nothing like that now.
No, the car meets now are very secretive. No one knows until it's probably 20 minutes before it starts where it is, because Robert he likes his cars like me, and he's got he does all sorts of things to try and make it pop and bang, and it's a fast car anyway. So he goes to these and he'll say, I'll go, where are you going tonight? What are you doing? He says, I'm nipping out later. Where are you going? I don't know yet.
You sort of get a text and everyone turns up sort of thing.
Everyone turns up because if it's too much common knowledge, the police are already waiting there.
Yeah, so this was all before all of that. This was where you had like a Nokia 3310. You could only text someone. So it wasn't all sort of thing, but everyone had a sort of a hot hatchback, everyone. And everyone went to them, and you you'd be out driving and you'd see a couple of cars like yours going by, and you're like, right, we're following them. They know where this is going, and you'd follow them, and you'd all end up somewhere. But yeah, I think the car culture stuff's just sort of gone away. It's just, I don't know whether it's all because the cars don't. I said this to my wife recently, and she agrees as well. But I think the cars have lost their character. There's so many cars now that look the same as all other cars. They're all the same. They all look similar.
And it's getting worse with the electric vehicles coming in. I don't know why they look so bland, in my opinion.
Yeah, they
look really bland. They're not like what we would class as a stylish car. Or
no, and they all had that. And the thing was as well, back then they all had their own styling. But I think what happened was, because it happened obviously in the 2000s and late 90s, a lot of the companies started merging. Yeah. And then they all started swapping stuff. So you'd find stuff on Renaults that had, well, anything on a Peugeot was in a Renault as well. And it was always the same with Citroën. So they all used their same parts.
Yeah.
And then some cars would use the same shell of like a Ford or something, and they would use the same shell as like a Volkswagen or something like that, and it looks the same.
Yeah,
it's just with a different badge on, and I think they've lost their styling, where they just we unify it all, and then just and so now you don't get all that unique styling you did back then.
That's right. My Drew made a point. She often when I say, oh, we're out and about, oh, look at that car, isn't it bland? And she says, what do you say? Well, it's electric. It's electric, and then it's bland. It just doesn't look nice. In my opinion, I'll just put that. But she says, well, it could be worse. She said every one of these vehicle manufacturers could be using the same piece of software, and each other one of those software comes up with the exact precise design, and everything looks the same because they're all looking for aerodynamics, cost, things like that. And this software would always generate probably the same picture. For every manufacturer. So it's kind of an evolution that at some point we're all going to drive just a bubble car.
Yeah, we're all just going to be driving sort of, I don't know, like you're saying, a bit like a Tesla. Yeah. And they're all going to look the same. And it's all going to be like...
Don't. I'm a petrol head. Hence,
with all the regulations coming in for that, I don't know. It's sort of... I mean, we were talking about it last when Will was on. Actually, we were saying sort of what are classic cars, because we were talking about when they Hachette done the classic car testing the classic car, and the first one was a Peugeot 205. I was like, is that classic 1984? I was like, I suppose it is. And then
it is,
and then it's like, oh, anything that's a W reg now is actually 25 years old. It's classes, and I was like. I was looking about on the road and I was like, there's a W reg there, there's an R reg there, and I was like, wow, they're all tax exempt. I wonder if they know. I don't know if they know. but yeah, I think the styling is just it's gone, isn't it, really? It's gone. I mean, you had Mitsubishi, because there's two dream cars that Kirsty's always wanted and never got, and that was the Mitsubishi Evo. That was like, if you want Mitsubishi Evo 8 or something, that the style and that was all like, it was already done up. You didn't have to do much to it. And an FTO. So they did a GTO and an FTO. I think the GTO was slightly bigger and the FTO was the smaller one.
Right.
And she always wanted one of them and never got one. But they were the sort of cars that everyone sort of drive. But and they're like gold dust now.
Yeah.
The old Scoobies, all that sort of stuff. They're all. I mean, even the Subaru now, back then, it was the car to have.
Yes.
If anyone had a Subaru Impreza, that was it. But if you look at the latest Subaru Impreza, it's a bit like the Ford. What was it? The one that Del Boy drove.
Oh, Reliant.
The Capri.
Oh, the Capri. Sorry.
Yeah, they redone the Capri, didn't they? And they've totally done. They totally destroyed the design of it. I don't know why they keep bringing back the old names either as well. It's like that. Just come up with something different. Why the old name on it?
Well, they're playing off hoping that the fact it's a Capri, it's going to drag more the advertising marketing side, isn't it? It's going to grab more people's attention than it probably would if it was called something, something different. But
different, yeah. Because it's funny that they went with the Capri and they didn't go with like a Cortina or a Granada. Scorpio, that was another one they did.
Oh yeah,
all those sort of ones. And they all had their own sort of designs. But yeah, nowadays it's just all bland. It's all produced at the same factory.
I had an Escort XR3i. I had a friend who had an RS2000. That was nice.
Yeah.
Back then, that was like, that was quite special. A bit like a Sierra Cosworth to see on the road.
Yeah, if anyone like that was the pinnacle. Everyone wanted a Subaru Impreza, but if you had a Sierra Cosworth or an Escort Cosworth, you were the top. You were like, that was the car to have. Yeah. Kirsty did have an XR2i. That was one of her cars, and she regrets it to this day, getting rid of that. And she had it that long that she bought it second hand and looked after it miraculously. And she said she remembers driving it once, and the mileage, it went all the way round, and it was 0.00000 on the mileage.
Yeah.
But the head gasket went on it, and she got rid of it, and she said she regrets it to this day. She should have kept it.
Yeah.
But like I say, all the styling's gone on cars, isn't it? It's just all so the same. I don't know if it's just age. I don't know whether I'm just getting older now, but everything just seems like that now. Everyone's just the same. Everyone just has the same. It's not, everything, same with the phones. They all look the same. And back in the day, you could have 30 different phone companies and they'd all have different styles.
Yeah.
Now they're literally all the same.
They are and do the same things, don't they?
And, it's just it's just one of those things.
I've got a drawer full of every phone I've owned in my office.
Really?
Yeah, and I've even got the old Nokias with the buttons and all you could do with it. I've got a few of those in there, and then I've got it when it went to smartphones, and I've now got some later ones in there. I've got an old Apple phone.
I've got.
I'm not techie phobic.
I've got an Apple 4 or something upstairs. I don't know, but
he has the latest everything, but he doesn't. He doesn't. Seeing it as an iPhone 17 out now, I don't do it. Okay, iPhone 17.
I've got my Google phone, and I'm not sort of big up on getting the latest phone. They all do the same stuff, so I don't know what. I remember having a BlackBerry. Do you remember the BlackBerries?
I never had one of them.
I had a BlackBerry. Yeah. They were at the time. They were a little bit revolutionary because if someone else had a BlackBerry.
Did you have the full keyboard on it?
You had a full keyboard on it, but it had a special messaging service on it for BlackBerry users. So if someone else had a BlackBerry phone, you could message them for free.
Yeah.
So they had this sort of, I would say it was the precursor to WhatsApp. It was like that style, and everyone wanted a BlackBerry at the time, and I remember having one. But yeah, it had a very elongated screen, but a full keyboard.
I remember what they looked like. Yeah, I never had one, as I say, but very cool.
They were. It was a very unique phone. Let's put it that way. But is any chatter coming in, Mark?
Yeah, we've had a few bits. A lot of apparently I'm doing a lot of relaxing. So
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with that.
LOL. Let's have a look. Scrolling down. Like I said, I've highlighted some.
Yep.
Ed Hughes says Ian may not like Fast and Furious, but he does like Fast.
Yes, I did show a couple of times my right foot in my car when we was going to the museum yesterday. It was quite fitting, really, considering where we were going.
Yeah.
I didn't do it too much, but just enough to push them in the seats,
Yeah.
D says, I'll get someone to build them for you, Ian.
Well, D, this is it. I mean, Kev, if you're at a loose end, I'm sure I can send one your way.
Yeah. I've got builds going, but I'm quite happy to build one for you. I've got no problem with that.
I've already got Horlicks. Horlicks is going to be doing one for me, another one for me.
And I said I don't mind doing one.
Oh, there you go. I'll get it all sorted. I say I've got to. I just put all the boxes. I don't even open the box. I don't even check to see if I've got the right stuff.
Yeah.
I might find out when I
You're
get
missing something,
and it's too late then to get the pot. I may have just to get back to 3D printing some things that are missing. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah. When I get them sorted, I'll let you know, guys.
Hey, brilliant. Yeah, I'm up for that.
Ed asks, what is the snooker website?
Okay, Funky. So FUNKY snooker.com.
There we go.
Yeah.
Then Ed's saying, Mark, say something. And then Bear just says, Ed, don't interrupt Mark's beauty nap. I was not asleep. And I'll probably bring this one out because it's somebody we have not seen in a while. Alex Builds, who says, chaps. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
I think that's
I
it.
think someone's trying to sneak in my office here.
Hello.
I think Drew's there. Come and say hello. Oh, she don't want to. Oh, I've got a bacon sandwich.
Oh, lovely.
There's new presenter for Top Gear, Kevin.
Not right now.
There you go. That's more or less it.
Oh, a bacon sandwich.
Yeah, looks like it.
Top
I
dollar.
wasn't expecting anything. I'd had a couple of yogurts for tea, and that was me done. So, but I'm sure I can force it down.
Yeah. I'll force it in. It'll be fine. We'll leave it there for tonight. Ian, thank you so much for coming along and having a chat with us. It's been really great and getting to know you a little bit more than what we normally know. But it's been great chatting. So thank you for coming along so much. Thank you for that.
Cheers.
And obviously, thanks for Mark for where you are in the background.
I'm keeping an eye on chat and what's relevant. So,
he does all the technical stuff behind. He's brilliant. I've been lost about him. He knows that.
Ed says, Ian, email me the website name, please.
Yeah, will do. No worries.
And thank you for coming along, Ian, and spending your time talking to us and letting us into your life, really.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming along. So it's all left to see is to say thank you to everyone watching. Thanks to Mark for doing your stuff in the background. I'll be lost without you, mate. And obviously, thank you to Ian for coming along. But until the next time, guys, we will see you later. Take it easy, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Good night, guys.